Can medical procedures contribute to Alzheimer's disease? A new study published in 2024 offers a surprising answer. Until now, it was believed that Alzheimer's develops solely due to genetics and age-related brain changes. But now, scientists are pointing to a possible third pathway in the development of the disease. This discovery forces us to rethink risk factors and the safety of certain medical interventions. Why does this matter? Alzheimer's is one of the most common neurological diseases in the world. It's incurable, progresses over years, and slowly erodes a person's memory, thinking, and sense of self. If medical procedures truly play a role in its development, we need to know which ones and how to minimize the risk. Hi, I'm Dr. Ethan Hale. In this video, we'll break down what scientists have discovered, how serious it is, and what conclusions we can draw from it. Stick around until the end. You won't want to miss the key takeaways and recommendations. First, let's break down how Alzheimer's disease actually develops. So far, scientists have identified two main pathways leading to Alzheimer's: sporadic and hereditary forms. Sporadic Alzheimer's, the most common yet mysterious scenario. In the vast majority of cases, about 90 to 95%, Alzheimer's develops spontaneously. This means the person doesn't have obvious genetic mutations that guarantee the disease, yet their brain starts to deteriorate with age. Why this happens remains unclear. Scientists believe sporadic Alzheimer's results from a combination of multiple factors. One of them is genetics. Some people have a predisposition, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll develop the disease. Lifestyle and diet also play a role. Lack of physical activity, poor sleep, vitamin deficiencies, and high blood sugar levels can all contribute. Environmental factors matter too. Pollution, toxins, and heavy metals may negatively affect brain health. And of course, age is the biggest risk factor. After 65, the chances of developing Alzheimer's increase dramatically. But the key question remains: what actually triggers the disease? Why do some people stay sharp well into their 90s, while others start losing memory as early as their 60s? Hereditary Alzheimer's, a rare but inevitable case. Unlike sporadic Alzheimer's, the hereditary form is rare, affecting only about 1 to 5% of cases. Here there's no randomness. If someone inherits specific mutations in the APPSN1 or PSEN2 genes, Alzheimer's is guaranteed to develop. A key characteristic of hereditary Alzheimer's is early onset. Symptoms can appear as early as 40 to 50 years old, sometimes even sooner. This happens because genetic mutations cause the brain to produce toxic beta-amyloid proteins, which destroy nerve cells. Even though this form is rare, it's heavily researched because it holds key insights into the mechanisms of Alzheimer's. So how does this connect to the new study? Up until now, all research has focused on these two pathways, sporadic and hereditary. But now, scientists have discovered that Alzheimer's may also develop due to external factors. Let's explore why this newly identified pathway, uncovered in 2024, is causing such a stir in the scientific community. A groundbreaking 2024 study suggests there may be another mechanism at play: iatrogenic Alzheimer's, linked to medical interventions. What are iatrogenic diseases? The term iatrogenic is used in medicine when a disease or complication arises as a result of treatment. This doesn't necessarily mean a doctor made a mistake. It simply means that medical interventions themselves can sometimes introduce unintended risk factors. For example, hospital-acquired infections are a classic case of an iatrogenic condition. A patient comes in for a routine surgery but ends up contracting antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Another example is radiation therapy, which, while effective, can sometimes cause side effects, including tissue damage. But what if certain medical procedures could in some way trigger Alzheimer's disease? Researchers began investigating cases where patients without a clear genetic predisposition developed Alzheimer's at an unusually early age. By analyzing their medical histories, they noticed a potential link to specific procedures. Let's dive into some real cases and unexpected findings that sparked heated debates in the scientific community. The idea that certain brain diseases could be transmitted through medical procedures is unsettling. But this isn't just a hypothesis. Science already has real-world examples of similar cases. One of the most well-known involves contaminated growth hormone treatments. Between 1959 and 1989, thousands of patients worldwide received human growth hormone, HGH, extracted from the pituitary glands of deceased individuals. At the time, this was a standard treatment for children with growth deficiencies. However, decades later, it was discovered that some batches of this hormone were contaminated. The problem? Some of the tissue donors unknowingly carried misfolded proteins linked to Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, CJD, a rare but fatal neurodegenerative disorder. Later research confirmed that at least 80 individuals who had received the contaminated hormone went on to develop CJD. This devastating disease rapidly destroys brain cells, leading to severe neurological decline. Patients lost their memory, their ability to move and speak, and ultimately their lives. This case was the first confirmed evidence that certain incurable brain diseases could be transmitted via medical procedures. And that led scientists to a critical question. Could something similar be happening with Alzheimer's disease? Now let's break down what researchers discovered in 2024 and why their findings have raised serious concerns. For years, the case of contaminated growth hormone was considered a tragic but closed chapter in medical history. However, in 2024, a new study revealed that the consequences of this medical incident might be far more serious than previously thought. Researchers decided to re-examine patients who had received growth hormone derived from human cadaveric tissue during childhood. It was already known that some of them had developed Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, CJD. But when scientists conducted a more in-depth analysis, they discovered something unexpected. 5 out of the 8 surviving patients showed signs of dementia consistent with Alzheimer's disease. Even more striking, some of them began experiencing symptoms at an unusually early age, well before sporadic Alzheimer's typically appears. Why is this discovery so important? Until now, Alzheimer's was believed to be non-transmissible, attributed only to genetics or age-related brain changes. But for the first time, scientists have found direct evidence that Alzheimer's may have developed following a medical procedure. Tissue analysis revealed that these patients' brains contained amyloid plaques, the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Researchers suspect that the contaminated growth hormone may have contained misfolded amyloid proteins, which triggered this process. This discovery challenges everything we thought we knew about how Alzheimer's develops and raises new concerns in medicine. Could Alzheimer's spread in a similar way to prion diseases? How common is this transmission pathway? And is there a potential risk for modern-day patients? Let's dive into why these findings are so controversial and what impact they could have on medical practices moving forward. The 2024 discovery has sparked intense debate within the scientific community. If Alzheimer's disease can be transmitted through medical procedures, it raises serious concerns about the safety of certain treatments and the effectiveness of current sterilization standards. Until now, it was believed that Alzheimer's developed only within the body and could not be passed from one person to another. Now, scientists are forced to ask, could transmission occur under specific conditions? One of the biggest concerns is the sterilization of medical instruments. The problem is that the misfolded amyloid proteins involved in Alzheimer's appear to be highly resistant to degradation. If they can't be destroyed using standard sterilization techniques, does that mean there's a risk of transmission through surgical tools or biological materials? While this discovery is groundbreaking, scientists are cautious about drawing definitive conclusions just yet. There are still many unanswered questions that require further research. How common is this transmission pathway? Is there a risk of transmission through other medical procedures? And most importantly, how can we prevent potential transmission? The answers to these questions could reshape the way we treat neurological diseases and might even lead to changes in some medical practices. What do you think about this study? Do you believe it could change the future of medicine? Let me know in the comments. Your opinion matters. Now, let's dive into one of the most unsettling questions. Could Alzheimer's disease actually be contagious? How valid are these concerns? Can you catch Alzheimer's in everyday life? The answer is clear, no. Alzheimer's disease is not transmitted through airborne droplets, touch, shared household items, or even blood. It's not a virus or a bacterium. It develops due to the accumulation of specific proteins in the brain, which the body produces on its own. If someone in your family has dementia, that does not mean you can catch it from them. Even if you're caring for a loved one, living in the same house, or helping them daily, there is no risk of transmission. When could there be a risk? The researchers' discovery applies to extremely rare cases involving tissue transplants or biological treatments. Just like with the contaminated growth hormone case, transmission could theoretically occur if abnormal proteins enter the body and trigger a chain reaction. But here's the key point. Modern medical safety standards are far stricter than they were in the mid-20th century. Tissues from deceased individuals are no longer used for such procedures, and all biological products undergo rigorous testing. So, for the vast majority of people, there's absolutely no risk. Alzheimer's disease is not contagious, and there is no reason to fear being around someone with dementia. Next, let's talk about practical steps you can take to protect your brain and reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's early. We've already established that Alzheimer's disease is not transmitted in everyday life, and that the risks associated with medical procedures are extremely rare. However, the 2024 discovery does raise an important question. Is there anything we can do to protect ourselves? What should you do if you have a medical procedure coming up? First and foremost, don't panic. Modern medical safety standards are far stricter than they were 40 to 50 years ago. All donor materials undergo rigorous screening, and surgical instruments go through multiple levels of sterilization. If you're about to undergo a complex procedure, you can always ask your doctor a few important questions. What sterilization methods are used? Are biological products, if used, completely safe? Are there alternative treatment options available? Having an open discussion with your doctor can ease concerns and reassure you that modern medicine prioritizes safety at every step. Regardless of medical procedures, the best way to protect your brain is to take care of your overall health. There are scientifically proven ways to reduce your risk of Alzheimer's. Stay physically active. Even 30 minutes of walking per day improves brain circulation. Get quality sleep. Sleep deprivation can contribute to the buildup of harmful proteins in the brain. Eat a brain-healthy diet. The Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, fish, and nuts, supports cognitive function. Exercise your brain. Reading, learning new languages, and mental challenges strengthen neural connections. Stay socially engaged. Regular interaction and social activities lower the risk of cognitive decline as you age. The key is to stay active, take care of your health, and not let fear dictate your life. We've explored a new and unexpected factor in the development of Alzheimer's disease. The 2024 study revealed that, in rare cases, misfolded proteins linked to dementia could be transmitted through medical procedures. But this does not mean that Alzheimer's is contagious or that medical interventions pose a widespread threat. It's important to remember, Alzheimer's cannot be spread through everyday contact, conversation, or even blood. Modern medical technology ensures high safety standards, so there's no need to panic. But staying informed is always a good idea. I hope this video was helpful and insightful for you. If you found it valuable, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. The more we understand brain health, the better we can protect ourselves and our loved ones. And now, I highly recommend watching the next video that just appeared on your screen. There, we'll break down new research and discuss health topics in a clear and accessible way. See you in the next video. Take care and stay healthy.